You've probably heard the term the Matrix. It's used to describe a world of illusions, a system that manipulates our beliefs, behaviors, and even our biology without us noticing. Some see it as metaphor, others see it as real. Most scroll past the idea, some stop and wonder. What if the Matrix isn't a machine, but a state of mind? A state shaped by the systems we grow up in, systems designed to hook us, addict us, and normalize the unnatural. And what if one of its most powerful tools was pornography? Porn isn't new. Ancient civilizations were full of erotic art, statues, paintings, literature. But those weren't just for stimulation, they had meaning: spiritual, cultural, educational. Sex, then, was woven into the rituals of life. Fast forward to today, porn has become something else entirely. Not sacred, not intimate, but algorithmic, engineered, a product optimized for clicks and compulsion. In the past, adult content had barriers. You had to seek it, buy it, hide it. But now, all it takes is a few taps. It's free, it's endless, and it's just there. No judgment, no limits, no effort. That shift from scarcity to saturation changed everything. It opened the floodgates, not just for adults, but for kids, for the developing brain, for people who didn't even go looking for it, and for those who didn't yet understand what they were consuming. And in the digital age, one of the most accessible, normalized, and profitable addictions is pornography. Digital porn is a superstimulus, an algorithmically tailored, endlessly scrollable system of novelty, dominance, and reward. It doesn't just reflect cultural attitudes towards sex, it shapes them. And more than that, it rewires the brain. What once required effort and exposure is now done alone in silence. But behind the scenes, every click is tracked, every search, every preference, every pause, and that data gets fed back into a machine designed to addict. Customized categories, targeted thumbnails, precision-matched tags, each tailored to you. This is no longer just about desire, it's about surveillance capitalism, and selling your biology back to you is entertainment. And the more niches it maps, the more it multiplies, by age, by race, by body type, by taboo, by trauma, by curiosity. Every demographic gets a genre, every genre gets an upgrade, and with every upgrade, the line between reality and simulation blurs. Arousal is more than a feeling, it's a full body event, a delicate dance between hormones, neurotransmitters, and electrical signals, meant to align you with the world, with a partner, a possibility, a future. But digital pornography hijacks that system. It introduces artificial triggers, cues that compete with and often override the natural chemistry of attraction. And when those synthetic cues dominate, the body adapts, but maladaptively. In males, it can present as erectile dysfunction, not from physical incapacity, but from misaligned stimulus. In females, it may appear as disrupted menstrual cycles, irregular ovulation, or lowered libido, signs of reproductive confusion. These aren't just psychological problems, they're endocrine breakdowns. Because the arousal response relies on healthy hormone synthesis, testosterone, progesterone, dopamine, and thyroid function, porn's hyperstimulus interrupts this cascade, leading to hormonal imbalances that ripple across metabolism, energy, fertility, and mood. And in younger users whose brains and bodies are still calibrating, the consequences cut deeper. During puberty, the body initiates complex upgrades in hormone output, organ development, and neural patterning. But when overstimulated by digital sexual content, that process can derail, rewiring sexual imprinting toward artificial cues and leaving long-term neuroplastic scars that abstinence alone may not repair. This isn't about morality, it's about biology. And biology doesn't care if the stimulus is real or rendered, it just responds. Porn doesn't just follow technology, it leads it. From cave etchings to scrolls, from VHS to VR, each shift in media has magnified its reach and redefined its form. But now it's not just about watching. It's about interacting. Enter virtual partners, digital constructs with programmable personalities, adaptive dialogue, and endless patience. AI companions don't judge. They don't require intimacy, time, or reciprocity. They simulate connection perfectly, and that illusion is powerful because the brain doesn't easily distinguish between artificial bonding and biological bonding. A synthetic voice calling your name still lights up the reward system. An animated avatar responding to your commands still triggers excitement and dopamine release. But there's a cost to this convenience: de-skilling intimacy. Real relationships require negotiation, effort, risk, presence. But when virtual alternatives offer frictionless validation, the drive to build human connection starts to erode. And as VR, AR as an augmented reality, and haptic feedback evolve, the body is pulled into the simulation. Touch becomes code. Desire becomes algorithm. Pornography isn't just changing what people want, it's changing how they want. And eventually, if they want. When simulation becomes more compelling than sensation, the nervous system adapts, not to the world, but to the machine. Pornography isn't just content, it's a market, one driven not by top-down mandates, but once again by data. Each click, scroll, and search builds a behavioral profile, not just of preferences, but of patterns. Who you are, what you want, what you'll tolerate. Porn adapts accordingly. It splinters itself into infinite genres, not to reflect diversity, but to monetize fragmentation. Race, age, body type, orientation, all rendered into searchable categories optimized for engagement. The industry doesn't need to push supply. Demand reveals itself in real time. A heat map of libido across continents, demographics, and psyches. And because novelty sells, algorithms lean toward extremes. Each new stimulus must eclipse the last. More explicit, more niche, more defiant. But this isn't innovation, it's feedback exploitation. The viewer's mind becomes a training set, and the product increasingly resembles their own distortions. Desire becomes self-referential, curated by a machine that only knows how to deepen your loops. And as porn positions itself as sex education, self-expression, and cultural satire all at once, it erodes boundaries that once differentiated entertainment from identity. What you consume becomes who you think you are. What turns you on begins to define how you relate, speak, and perform. But this isn't empowerment, it's commodification. Desire, once a biological compass toward bonding and reproduction, becomes a product line sold back to you as personality. Pornography doesn't just survive criticism, it absorbs it. Each backlash becomes branding. Every controversy fuels engagement. Its polarization preserves it. To some, it's liberation. To others, corrosion. But in both cases, it stays. And that permanence isn't accidental. It's the result of economic fitness, low overhead, high demand, infinite scalability, and now even user-generated content. As long as there's bandwidth, there's a buyer. But beyond profitability is something deeper: porn's ability to reflect and reshape cultural values. It normalizes the spectacle, publicizes the private, and reduces human complexity into categories, thumbnails, and search terms. This isn't just the eroticization of media, it's the mediaization of eroticism. Sex becomes content, content becomes currency. And over time, repeated exposure to such frames of intimacy rewires not just arousal patterns, but belief systems. Beliefs about men, about women, about connection, about what is owed and what is performable. But here lies the trick. Consumption creates the illusion of consent. Because you clicked it, because you enjoyed it, because you stayed. But what remained unexamined? What is hidden beneath the content, beneath the click, beneath the noise? So why was porn created? For profit? To reflect culture? Or to shape it? To explore human sexuality? Or to exploit it? Maybe it's all of that. But one thing is certain. It didn't evolve by accident. It grew because we clicked, because we craved, because we didn't ask what it was doing back to us. Most people think porn addiction is about willpower. Here, we know it's deeper than that. It's hormonal, neurological, and metabolic. Welcome to Apophenia, an online forum that uses biology to explain behavior and physical health. Our main focus is pornography addiction, not just as a psychological habit, but as a biological disruption. We go beyond surface level symptoms to explore the biological roots of addiction, arousal, energy, and attention, tracing them back to the hormonal systems that sustain them. Inside the forum, we unpack how these systems work and how to restore them through grounded biology-first strategies. It's free to join, and our invitation program is monetized, built to grow the community while rewarding contributors. And if you want to dive deeper, start with the free resource below. Explore the true roots of willpower, arousal, attention, and identity. Learn how to reclaim your endocrine autonomy, and with it, yourself.